Thank you very much for joining us. You are watching the Uganda Catholic Television. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch with the Friday edition of Uctv News. And now, the Kampala City Executive Committee, chaired by the Lord Mayor of Kampala, Elias Lukwago, has temporarily suspended the process of finalizing the 2025-26 budget framework paper, citing significant obstacles. Under Section 92 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, must submit the budget framework paper to the Minister of Finance by November 15, 2024. Addressing press at City Hall, Lukwago outlined 4 major issues that include the persistent budget cuts, limited devolution of power to urban councils, the unimplemented property tax fund stipulated in Section 37 of the Local Government Act 2005, and inadequate government funding for key KCCA priorities.
The law is structured in such a way that KCCA was closed, the authority here, with the mandate to devolve certain function to the division urban councils. That is in Section 35. 2016, we sat as a council, devolved those functions, and they are spelled out in the 3rd schedule to the Act. These are the functions which ought to be devolved. Since then, we have been struggling with the question of how they can be empowered financially to be able to run their business, to conduct their work. And this necessitated creating votes and operational accounts. Up to now, they don't have those votes. So you recognize, you are aware of the fact that, well, we have been battling with this issue. The Minister the Minister for Kampala made a commitment that they are going to push the central government, the Minister of Finance, to create votes, all in vain up to now. So what has been happening? We are operating under one consolidated vote 122. Yet these municipalities, the divisions, are self-accounting bodies under Section 28 and 31 of the KCCA Act. They are supposed to make their own budgets. They have town clerks as accounting officers. The mayors of the division urban councils, together with their state executive committees, are supposed to make their budgets. But all along, for all intents and purposes, they have not been making budgetary appropriations. All they have been doing is to prepare wish lists, which they submit here for consideration by the authority, which has really bogged down our work. And time and again, I've been turned into a punching bag as the Lord Mayor by the leadership of the division urban councils, that probably it's the Lord Mayor who has not given them the powers, which is not true. Actually, I don't have the mandate to create votes for the division urban councils. I wish I had those powers. Our power, our authority as the institution of KCCA here, the authority with my colleagues here, is to develop the functions, which we did. They have the business, they have the functions to execute. All they are lacking are the funds. And they could not have funds unless they have operational accounts. And they could not have operational accounts unless they have operational votes. And who creates the votes? It's the Ministry of Finance. The ministry up to now is reluctant and hesitant to create those votes, which has bogged down the devolution process. Now we are saying enough is enough. We are tired of these illegal operations. We are not going to proceed to make appropriations under one consolidated vote. There are steps that have been taken here. You will see communications that have been made. We wrote to the Attorney General some time back, who has not in any way responded. The letter is here, 28, it is dated. The letter to the Attorney General, which was written by the former executive 19th September 2023, asking for guidance on how devolution should be done, and up to now the Attorney General has not responded to this. Can you imagine? 19th September 2023, you will see this letter asking for guidance on how this should be done to operationalize the provisions relating to devolution of functions.
Now, Uganda's journalism community is calling for the creation of an affirmative action framework to address the numerous challenges faced by media practitioners in the country. During the second day of the Uganda Media Week workshop at Tirupati Mall in Kampala, journalists voiced concerns over widespread exploitation by employers and harassment by authorities, which they believe has contributed to a decline in public trust in Uganda's mainstream media.
A lot has been spoken about the digital and technological disruption on how it affects media. And one of the things is that people sometimes are avoiding news because mainstream news, because maybe there's a lot of depressive information. The negative line of news, which used to be the thing that used to sell, now it's no longer the thing that people want. So then that affects consumption of news. On the other hand, they have multiple sources of information, so they have social and all of that. And then there's a lot of manipulative use of artificial intelligence, really, not like the good side. There's a bad side where information is manipulated, information is engineered, and it's really open to all. And because of that, people always ask, can we trust this information? When they ask, can we trust information, the first people they look to is, can we trust the mainstream media to still be able to tell us this information? Or can we trust journalists, And because of that, we must meet and talk, because if people don't trust our profession, then where are we going to? What is our relevance? Yeah, and yet media has an important role, watchdog role, informative role, and some education role. And so if people don't trust us, how can we execute our work? And that's why
we have seen areas where the governments are supporting the medias, like the BBC and the other medias in the world, in the Europe, but they don't make them look like they are not government entities, or rather they personalize them to become government entity. So the policy would be that we aim at having these private entities, the media, basically to have their own income generating assets that would support them in building their capacities, but also equipping their staff with day-to-day information and knowledge to see that they are able to report on accuracy and also report on authenticity.
So as a female journalist, we face quite a number of challenges, and one that has come out so often is harassment. Now when we talk about harassment, it's not only about the sexual. It could be in terms of finances, how much we are paid, the responsibilities that we are given and what have you. And that has been exhibited with the sessions that we've had here, that online, physical, female journalists always suffer a lot of backlash more than the gentlemen do. And that is a challenge that we feel needs to be addressed. My takeaways has been for me not to take for granted any challenge that happens to any journalist, whether female or male, because at the end of the day, these people contribute towards the face of journalism.
2018, I organized a roundtable meeting with UCC to discuss on how best we could help implement their laws to make sure that the interpreters are there on televisions. So UCC implemented and forced all televisions and media houses to have sign language interpreters, and if they fail, they must close. But what happened? Some televisions are still there, stubborn, they do not have sign language interpreters. They have failed to implement the law. And also UCC has also come up with some guidelines for interpreter services on the TV, but the implementation is still a problem. So we are still waiting to UCC, but I do not know up to when should we wait for these key issues to be implemented.
Thank you for watching UCTV News. We are going to take a break.
UCTV, good news for all. You are watching Uctv, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Towoka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Mahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegetradio.com. Kasese Get Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
I am Sunday Gloria Abwatch, and I wish you the very best of the weekend.